It's been 66 years since Bonanza first hit the airwaves, introducing us to the iconic Cartwright family and the sprawling Ponderosa Ranch. This groundbreaking Western series not only became a staple of television history but also left an indelible mark on its devoted fans. As we fast forward to 2025, many may wonder what became of the beloved actors who brought these memorable characters to life. From their subsequent careers to personal triumphs and legacies, we explore how the cast members have fared over the decades and where they are today. Join us in revisiting the stars of Bonanza and discovering their stories beyond the Ponderosa. Lorne Greene played Ben Cartwright, the strong and wise patriarch of the Cartwright family, starting in Bonanza in 1959 at the age of 44. Ben was the embodiment of justice, fairness, and deep love for his three sons. Greene's journey to fame was a long and arduous one, beginning as a radio announcer in Canada and eventually gaining recognition in television, though he faced many struggles along the way. His career peaked with Bonanza, where he became a household name. However, Greene's personal life was marked by turmoil. His first marriage to Rita Hands, which lasted 22 years, ended in divorce, leaving their two children with emotional scars. He remarried Nancy Teal, but his health began to deteriorate in the 1980s. After undergoing heart surgery, Greene succumbed to complications from pneumonia on September 11, 1987, at the age of 72. Despite his immense professional success, his personal life and final years were overshadowed by loss and illness, leaving a bittersweet legacy in the entertainment world. Dan Blocker, who played Eric Haas Cartwright, the gentle and good-natured giant of the family, started on Bonanza in 1959 at age 31. Haas was the epitome of kindness, loyalty, and strength, traits that endeared him to fans around the world. Blocker's rise to fame was slow, as he worked multiple odd jobs before landing the role that made him a star. He married his college sweetheart, Dolphia Parker, and they had 4 children together. Despite his public success, Blocker's personal life was marred by the pressures of fame and the toll it took on his family life. Tragically, Blocker's life was cut short when he died unexpectedly of a pulmonary embolism on May 13, 1972, at the age of 43, following gallbladder surgery. His untimely death devastated both his family and the cast of Bonanza, and the show was never quite the same without him. Blocker's passing left a void in the world of television, and his tragic death at such a young age remains one of the most sorrowful chapters in the history of the series. Michael Landon, who played the fiery and adventurous Joseph Little Joe Cartwright, became one of television's most beloved stars when he joined Bonanza in 1959 at the age of 23. Little Joe's charm, impulsive nature, and passionate pursuit of justice made him an iconic figure. Landon's rise to fame was meteoric, but it came with its own set of challenges. Behind the scenes, his childhood was marked by hardship, with a distant father and a mentally unstable mother. He married 3 times, first to Dodie Levy Fraser, with whom he adopted a son, Mark, and then to Lynn No, with whom he had 5 children. Both marriages ended in acrimony and divorce. Landon's third marriage, to Cindy Clerico, was controversial due to their age difference, but it lasted until his death. In 1991, Landon was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and despite undergoing treatment, he passed away on July 1, 1991, at the age of 54. Pernell Roberts portrayed Adam Cartwright, the eldest and most intellectual of the Cartwright brothers, beginning in 1959 at the age of 31. Adam was an architect with a calm and reflective personality, often seen as the moral compass of the Cartwright family. Despite the character's depth, Roberts became disillusioned with Bonanza's formulaic storytelling and departed the series in 1965, seeking more challenging roles. His career after Bonanza was filled with disappointment, as he struggled with typecasting and failed to secure major roles in film or television. Roberts' personal life was equally turbulent. He was married 4 times, each marriage ending in divorce. The most devastating blow came in 1989, when his only son, Chris, tragically died in a motorcycle accident. Haunted by guilt and loneliness, Roberts dedicated his later years to philanthropic efforts but continued to struggle with his inner demons, He passed away from pancreatic cancer on January 24, 2010, at the age of 81. Victor Sanyung played Hop Singh, the loyal and hard-working cook of the Cartwright family, starting in 1959 at the age of 44. Hop Singh was often the comic relief, but his character also conveyed moments of depth and warmth, providing stability within the chaotic Cartwright household. Young, however, faced immense struggles in Hollywood, where racial discrimination limited his opportunities and forced him into stereotypical roles. His personal life mirrored his career's frustrations. He was married briefly, but the marriage ended in divorce, leaving him estranged from his family. As his career waned, Young faced financial difficulties, and his attempts to shift careers, including writing a cookbook, failed to materialize into lasting success. Tragically, his life ended in an unnoticed and solitary death. On November 1, 1980, at 65, Young was found dead in his apartment from accidental asphyxiation due to a gas leak. David Canary played Candy Canaday, the loyal and resourceful ranch foreman, starting in 1967 at the age of 29. Candy was a courageous figure, embodying a strong sense of justice and a steadying force at the Ponderosa, often stepping in when the Cartwrights needed him most. Off-screen, David's life was filled with both accolades and personal struggle. Though he received critical praise for his roles in Bonanza and All My Children, where he won Daytime Emmy Awards, his personal life was marked by deep emotional struggles. He married Maureen Maloney in 1982, and they had 2 children, but their relationship faced emotional distance and periods of isolation, particularly due to David's battle with depression and the pressures of fame. In his later years, David suffered from health issues, which contributed to his quiet withdrawal from the public eye. He passed away on November 16, 2015, at the age of 77, from natural causes, leaving behind a legacy of talent tempered by personal sorrow and a sense of quiet loss. Ray Teal played Sheriff Roy Coffey, the reliable and steadfast lawman of Virginia City, starting in 1960 at the age of 58. As the sheriff, Teal's character embodied justice and stability, offering guidance and support to the Cartwright family and the community. Despite his solid career in film and television, Teal's off-screen life was marked by personal battles. His marriage to Adeline lasted for many years and produced 2 children, but his struggles with alcoholism and the toll of long working hours put a strain on their relationship. His wife's death in 1974 deepened his emotional wounds, and he began to face declining health. Teal's career remained steady but unspectacular, and his real-life struggles mirrored the quiet strength of his on-screen persona. After battling his personal demons and health issues, Ray Teal passed away on April 2, 1976, at the age of 74 from heart failure. Bing Russell portrayed Deputy Clem Foster, the dependable and courageous deputy sheriff, starting in 1961 at the age of 35. Clem's loyalty to the Cartwright family and his unwavering commitment to his job reflected Bing's own dedication to his career. Despite his success in Bonanza and later pursuits in baseball ownership, Bing's personal life was shadowed by the toll his career took on his family life. Bing married Louise Julia Crone in 1946, and they had 4 children, including actor Kurt Russell, but his demanding career and health struggles, particularly his battle with cancer, put a strain on his family life. Despite these challenges, Bing remained a deeply loved figure in both Hollywood and the sports world. He passed away on April 8, 2003, at the age of 76, after a long battle with cancer, leaving behind a rich legacy but also a tale of personal sacrifices, struggles, and unspoken heartache. Mitch Vogle played Jamie Hunter Cartwright, the red-headed orphan adopted by the Cartwright family, joining Bonanza in 1968 at the age of 12. Jamie was characterized by youthful enthusiasm and a fierce desire to prove his worth to the Cartwrights, quickly becoming a fan favorite. After Bonanza, Mitch found himself struggling to maintain his career momentum. Despite his early success in movies like The Reavers and Yours, Mine and Ours, his acting opportunities dwindled, and he faced financial difficulties. Mitch married Christine Gillis in 1985, and they had 2 daughters, but his life after fame was riddled with uncertainty and challenges. As of 2025, at 69 years old, Mitch lives a quieter life, having largely retreated from the public eye, with few acting roles in recent years. The potential seen in his early years now seems like a distant memory, overshadowed by a career that never quite reached its full promise. Troy Melton played a gunman in Bonanza starting in 1959 at the age of 38. Known for his tense and often violent characters, Melton became a staple in westerns, but his career was largely limited to minor roles and never reached the heights he hoped for. Despite his talent and presence, Melton's opportunities for major roles were few and far between, leading to a sense of frustration. His personal life was similarly tumultuous. His first marriage to Margaret ended in bitterness, with her citing neglect and his inability to balance family life with his career. His second marriage to actress Linda was marred by financial struggles, as his acting career faltered. Melton had one son, David, but their relationship was strained due to his neglect and erratic lifestyle. In his later years, Melton was diagnosed with cancer, which he battled for several years. His health declined rapidly, and he passed away on November 15, 1995, at the age of 74. Grandon Roads took on the role of Dr. J.P. Martin, the town doctor in Bonanza, beginning in 1960 at the age of 56. His character was a calming presence in the rugged, chaotic world of Virginia City, embodying wisdom and compassion. Rhodes' portrayal of the kind-hearted doctor was widely praised, yet his own career was marred by long periods of underemployment and typecasting in similar roles. Despite his notable talent, he never became a household name. In his personal life, Rhodes married actress Virginia Eleanor Cooper, but their marriage was emotionally distant, and they had no children, a source of deep sadness for Rhodes. The actor's later years were spent battling a long illness, causing him to become increasingly isolated. His struggles were compounded by financial difficulties, and he passed away on June 9, 1987, at the age of 82, his death marking the end of a life filled with unfulfilled dreams and personal hardships. Bruno V SoDo was introduced as a bartender in Bonanza in 1961 at the age of 39, in a minor role that helped anchor many key scenes. While V SoDo had a diverse career in both acting and directing, he never achieved the level of recognition he sought. His acting career was often overshadowed by financial difficulties, and his directing ventures received little critical acclaim, leaving him feeling unfulfilled and bitter. V SoDo's personal life mirrored his career struggles. His marriage to Patricia Rose Smith was fraught with conflict, largely due to his inability to provide a stable life for their 3 children. The constant stress of financial instability in his declining career put a strain on the relationship, and the couple often fought over their future. V SoDo's health began to deteriorate in his early 50s, and he suffered from stress-related health issues. Tragically, his life was cut short when he passed away from a heart attack on September 24, 1976, at the age of 54. Roy Engel portrayed Dr. Paul Martin, the compassionate and skilled town doctor, in Bonanza starting in 1959 at the age of 46. Dr. Martin was a calming presence, always ready to provide both medical care and emotional support to the residents of Virginia City, including the Cartwright family. Engel's portrayal of the character was deeply empathetic, and the role became one of his defining moments in television. Despite his success on Bonanza, Engel's personal life was far from smooth. While he had a wife and children, his career often kept him away from his family, leading to the emotional distance that affected his home life. Engel's career, though steady, was also marked by the difficulty of being typecast in secondary roles, which prevented him from attaining leading man status. In his later years, Engel faced health issues, including heart problems that led to surgery. Sadly, he passed away on December 29, 1980, at the age of 67, due to complications following the surgery. Harry Holcomb played Dr. J.P. Martin, another esteemed doctor in Virginia City, starting in Bonanza in 1969 at the age of 63. Dr. Martin was known for his gentle nature, wisdom, and the emotional support he provided to those in need. Holcomb's portrayal of the character brought a soothing, paternal quality to the show, but off-screen, his life was filled with much more turmoil. While he enjoyed a lengthy career in television, Holcomb's personal life was challenging. His marriage faced difficulties, and the pressures of his career led to emotional strain. As he grew older, opportunities in the industry became fewer, and his health began to deteriorate. Holcomb's struggles in his personal and professional life were often overlooked, and his quiet, unassuming presence on Bonanza became a reflection of his own life. After years of health problems, Holcomb passed away on September 15, 1987, at the age of 80. Tim Matheson portrayed Griff King, a young parolee seeking redemption under the guidance of the Cartwrights, starting in 1972 at the age of 25. Griff was determined to turn his life around, proving his loyalty to the Cartwright family despite his troubled past. Matheson's career, however, was filled with struggles, as he found it difficult to move beyond the typecasting of his early roles. His personal life mirrored these challenges. He was married twice, with both marriages ending in divorce. His first wife, Megan, and their 2 children were part of a short-lived period of happiness, but the pressures of his career and his emotional distance led to the breakup. Matheson also faced immense grief with the death of his daughter to a rare illness, an event that haunted him for years. Now 77 years old, Matheson has continued acting, though much of his career has been overshadowed by his personal losses, living quietly and privately as he reflects on the pain of his past. Phil Chambers portrayed the store owner, a recurring role in Bonanza that began in 1962 at the age of 46. His character was a small but important part of the town's fabric, known for being friendly and helpful to the Cartwrights and other residents of Virginia City. Chambers, much like his character, was a steady and reliable presence on the show, though his career was often limited to supporting roles and never reached the level of stardom that some of his co-stars achieved. Behind the scenes, Chambers struggled with the realities of a career in Hollywood. Despite his many years of work, he found himself in financial trouble and dealing with personal issues, including a rocky marriage. His professional life was never quite what he had hoped it would be, and the isolation of his later years led to a growing sense of unfulfillment. Chambers' health also began to decline as he aged, and after years of struggling with his personal demons, he passed away on January 16, 1993, at the age of 76. Lane Bradford portrayed Buck, a tough and rugged character starting in 1959 at the age of 37. Buck's involvement in numerous conflicts and his hardened exterior made him a memorable part of Bonanza, but Bradford's own life was filled with struggles. His career, despite starting strong, eventually slowed as he was often overshadowed by other actors. Bradford's personal life was equally troubled, with 2 marriages that ended in divorce due to infidelity and emotional estrangement. His battles with alcoholism worsened as his career declined, and he found it difficult to cope with the isolation that came with it. On June 7, 1973, Bradford's life was tragically cut short when he died of a heart attack at the age of 50, his personal demons leaving a lasting mark on a life that could have been filled with greater success and happiness. Robert Folk portrayed Deputy Sheriff Clem, a steadfast and reliable lawman, beginning in 1960 at 52. Deputy Sheriff Clem was a loyal figure of law and order, providing guidance and support in Virginia City. Folk's career spanned decades, yet he remained largely in supporting roles, never achieving the fame he might have hoped for. His personal life was marked by 2 troubled marriages. His first wife struggled with mental health issues, which caused significant strain on their relationship and led to divorce. His second marriage was similarly rocky, plagued by the stresses of his declining career and emotional hardship. Folk's health deteriorated due to the toll of his personal challenges, and he passed away on February 25, 1989, at 80. His death, after a long life filled with quiet suffering, was a reflection of the struggles he faced both professionally and personally. Mike Reagan portrayed Burkhart, a menacing and tough character, starting in Bonanza in 1959 at the age of 41. Burkhart was a villainous presence, always involved in conflict and providing a contrast to the Cartwrights' sense of justice. Mike's career was marked by a series of typecast roles, often portraying tough, antagonistic characters, which limited his range and left him struggling to break free from his reputation. Off-screen, Mike's personal life was tumultuous. He married 3 times and had 2 children, but his relationships were clouded by infidelity and emotional distance. Despite the public success, Mike faced personal demons, including the toll his career took on his family. Later in life, he was diagnosed with emphysema, which severely impacted his health. Mike passed away on August 25, 1995, at the age of 77, from complications of emphysema, his death marking the end of a career filled with both external success and internal conflict. Ken Mayer played Krusty, a rugged and seasoned character, starting in Bonanza in 1960 at the age of 42. Krusty was known for his tough exterior, often offering sage advice and a gruff but wise perspective, particularly in difficult situations. His character's strength mirrored the harshness of the American West, yet there was always an underlying sense of moral integrity. While Ken's career included several notable roles, his personal life was less fulfilling. He married twice but struggled with emotional isolation, and he had no children. His second marriage, to Jean, faced significant challenges, partly due to his declining health and the toll of an increasingly reclusive life. In his later years, Ken battled heart disease, which ultimately led to his death on January 30, 1985, at the age of 66. His passing was relatively quiet, leaving behind a legacy of tough roles that mirrored the quiet struggles of his personal life. Henry Wills played the first robber in Bonanza, joining the show in 1960 at the age of 39. Though a minor character, the first robber added tension to the episodes he appeared in, contributing to the darker side of the show's storyline. Off-screen, Henry's life was far from as dramatic as his on-screen persona, but it was filled with quiet struggles. He faced challenges in his personal life, marked by strained relationships and an absence of lasting family connections, with no children to carry on his legacy. Henry's personal battles with mental health and isolation reflected the somber nature of his career, which never truly flourished. In his later years, Henry's health declined, and he passed away from a heart attack on September 15, 1994, at the age of 73. His death, much like his life, was understated, leaving behind a fleeting presence in a show that brought little comfort to his personal turmoil. Bob Hoye portrayed Little Cowboy in Bonanza starting in 1960 at the age of 33. His role, though minor, left an impact due to the character's agility and quick thinking, which brought a sense of energy to the series. Despite this, Hoye's career was largely overshadowed by others in more prominent roles. His personal life, however, was marred by tragedy. He married actress Mary Jo, and together they had a son named Max, but their joy was short-lived as Max passed away from a rare illness at only 3 years old. This devastating loss cast a shadow over Hoye's life and career, as he struggled to move on from the grief. The actor continued to battle personal and financial hardships, and later in life, he was diagnosed with cancer, which took a heavy toll on him. Hoye passed away on February 8, 2010, at the age of 82. Ford Rainey portrayed Captain Arnholt in Bonanza starting in 1961 at the age of 53. Captain Arnholt was a firm, authoritative figure, known for his discipline and leadership. Rainey's performance as the strict captain showcased his ability to command respect, even in a supporting role. Despite this on-screen strength, his real life was filled with personal challenges. His marriage, though long, was strained due to his constant work demands, leading to a growing emotional distance. Rainey had children, but the pressures of Hollywood left little room for family life, which eventually contributed to tensions within his home. Professionally, Rainey was often typecast, limiting his career growth despite his considerable talent. In his later years, he faced declining health, culminating in a stroke that ultimately led to his death on July 25, 2005, at the age of 96. Lou Friselle played Dusty Rhodes in Bonanza starting in 1968 at the age of 48. His character, a reliable and hard-working ranch hand, was beloved for his loyalty to the Cartwright family. However, Friselle's real life mirrored the struggles of his on-screen character, as he found it difficult to gain recognition in the competitive world of Hollywood. Though he had steady work, his career never took off in the way he hoped. His personal life was similarly fraught with difficulties, including 2 failed marriages. His first wife, Susan, left him after years of emotional neglect and constant financial struggle. His second marriage to Carol ended in divorce as well, leaving Friselle feeling increasingly isolated. In his later years, Friselle was diagnosed with lung cancer, which further compounded his difficulties. The illness proved to be fatal, and he passed away on June 17, 1979, at 59. Hal Baylor portrayed Arch Stewart in Bonanza starting in 1960 at the age of 42. Arch was known for his imposing presence and strength, often acting as a figure of authority in the show's conflicts. However, Baylor's own life was far from the strength he portrayed on screen. Though his career was steady, it never reached the heights he had hoped for, and he remained a character actor throughout his life. His personal life was filled with struggles, having been married 3 times. His first marriage to Patricia was marred by emotional struggles and ultimately ended in divorce. His second marriage to Linda ended due to his ongoing issues with alcohol, which further strained their relationship. His third marriage, to Emily, was more stable, but Baylor still faced deep personal regrets. In his later years, Baylor's health began to deteriorate, and he contracted pneumonia, which ultimately led to his death on January 15, 1998, at the age of 79. Ken Lynch played Collier in Bonanza starting in 1960 at the age of 50. Collier was a tough, no-nonsense character, often putting duty above all else, which made him a memorable part of the show. Lynch's career, however, was filled with frustration, as he was often typecast in roles that didn't allow him to fully demonstrate his range as an actor. His personal life was equally challenging, as his marriage to his wife faced constant strain due to the emotional toll of his career. The pressures of Hollywood left him with little peace at home, and the emotional fallout from his personal life affected his family relationships. Though Lynch found steady work, he struggled financially, and the roles were never as fulfilling as he had hoped. Later in life, Lynch's health deteriorated, and he passed away on February 13, 1990, at the age of 79 due to complications from a viral infection. Denver Pyle portrayed Sheriff Ed, a reliable and moral lawman, starting in 1961 at the age of 41. Sheriff Ed was known for his dedication to law and order in Virginia City, often serving as the voice of reason. However, Pyle's life off-screen was far less stable. His career, though solid, never reached the heights he might have hoped for, often leading him to roles that were too similar to his previous ones. His first marriage to Ruth ended in divorce after years of struggles with infidelity and emotional distance. His second marriage fared no better, marked by Pyle's battle with alcoholism. These personal issues took a toll on his mental and physical health. In his later years, Pyle fought a losing battle against lung cancer, which eventually claimed his life on December 25, 1997, at the age of 77. His death, on Christmas Day, served as a bitter reflection of the isolation and pain he had long endured, both in his personal and professional life. Norman Levitt portrayed the telegrapher in Bonanza starting in 1960 at the age of 47. Although his role was small, Levitt's character was dependable and essential, efficiently keeping communication flowing between the townsfolk. Off-screen, Levitt's career was often filled with disappointment. He was typecast in smaller roles and never attained the level of recognition that some of his co-stars achieved. His personal life, marked by a strained marriage, mirrored his professional struggles. The emotional toll of his career and personal issues caused a growing sense of isolation. As he aged, Levitt faced significant health challenges, including dementia and dehydration. These health issues ultimately led to his death on December 11, 2005, at the age of 92. Though his death came quietly, it marked the end of a life filled with unfulfilled dreams. Morgan Woodward played Deputy Sheriff Rick Conley, a brave and determined officer, starting in 1960 at the age of 35. Conley was a symbol of courage and strength, often throwing himself into perilous situations to protect Virginia City. Woodward's real-life journey, however, was filled with both triumphs and disappointments. Although he had a lengthy career, he struggled with being typecast and missed out on more varied and substantial roles. His personal life was equally tumultuous. His first wife tragically passed away from illness, leaving Woodward heartbroken and emotionally adrift. He remarried, but that union also faltered under the strain of his emotional scars and constant professional demands. Woodward faced significant health challenges in his later years, including heart complications that gradually worsened. Despite his long life, his passing on February 22, 2019, at the age of 93. Ted Garing portrayed Arch Tremaine, a tough and imposing character, starting in 1968 at the age of 39. Tremaine was known for his physical strength and commanding presence, often playing the role of a forceful figure in tense situations. However, Garing's own life lacked the strength and stability his character portrayed. His career, though steady, never reached the heights he had hoped for, and he often found himself relegated to minor roles. His personal life was filled with hardship, including a failed first marriage due to his wife's mental health issues. His second marriage also crumbled under the weight of his growing career frustrations and the pressures of an industry that didn't seem to have much more for him. In his later years, Garing struggled with health issues, including a devastating diagnosis of lung cancer. He passed away on September 28, 2000, at the age of 71, a tragic end for a man whose life. Chubby Johnson played Abner Ledbetter in Bonanza starting in 1962 at the age of 59. Abner was a charming, good-natured character who added a sense of humor to the show with his friendly, country-accented voice. His role as the lovable, yet often bumbling character brought lightness to the otherwise dramatic series. While his on-screen persona was filled with warmth, Chubby's personal life was much more difficult. He was married once, but his marriage was strained, and he had no children. His later years were marked by health problems and deep loneliness, struggling to maintain any lasting relationships. In 1974, a severe leg infection, which he had been battling for some time, led to his death on October 31, 1974, at the age of 71. His passing went largely unnoticed, a quiet end to a life that was filled with both joy and sorrow in equal measure. Dabbs Greer played Doc Tasker Dunat in Bonanza, starting in 1961 at the age of 44. As the town's dedicated and compassionate doctor, Doc Dunat was always portrayed as the caring, selfless figure who would do anything to help those in need. Dabbs' portrayal of this character reflected his own genuine compassion for others. However, behind the scenes, Dabbs' life was not as smooth. His marriage, though lasting, was not without its own struggles, marked by the pressures of his career and the emotional toll of raising two children. Despite his professional success, Dabbs' health began to deteriorate in his later years. He battled kidney and heart issues, which slowly took a toll on his quality of life. Dabbs passed away on April 28, 2007, at the age of 90, after living a long life filled with compassion and professional acclaim, but his final years were plagued by health problems that overshadowed his remarkable career. Harland Ward portrayed George Osgood in Bonanza starting in 1962 at the age of 45. George was known for his wisdom, integrity, and willingness to offer guidance to the Cartwright family and their community. His character represented the moral compass of the show, often providing sage advice in moments of difficulty. In real life, however, Harland's career was overshadowed by personal struggles. He had two marriages, both of which were troubled and ended in divorce. His first marriage was marked by emotional distance, while his second was fraught with infidelity and unresolved issues. Financial troubles and depression also played a role in his later years, creating a complex contrast to his professional reputation. Harland passed away on March 13, 1980, at the age of 62, his death a quiet one after years of personal battles that had deeply affected his well-being and sense of fulfillment. Dan White portrayed the stableman in Bonanza starting in 1960 at the age of 42. While his role was minor, the stableman was integral to the day-to-day operations of the Cartwright Ranch, serving as a hard-working and reliable character. White's career, however, remained stagnant, limited to small roles that failed to leave a significant mark. His personal life was filled with heartache, having been married twice, with both marriages ending in divorce due to his inability to maintain emotional intimacy and financial stability. These personal failures compounded his professional frustrations, leading to a deep sense of loneliness and despair. In 1980, the burden became too much to bear, and Dan tragically took his own life through carbon monoxide poisoning on July 7, at the age of 72. Gregory Walcott played Captain John Fenner in Bonanza starting in 1960 at the age of 32. Captain Fenner was a figure of authority and strength, known for his leadership and commanding presence. Though Walcott was a skilled actor, his career never saw the widespread recognition he hoped for, with his roles often relegated to supporting parts. He continued to work steadily in television and film but never landed the breakout role that could propel him to stardom. His personal life reflected the ups and downs of his career. Walcott was married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce, as the pressures of his work and personal struggles led to emotional distance and unhappiness. Despite these challenges, Walcott found solace in his later years, spending more time with his children and pursuing quieter passions. He passed away on March 20, 2015, at the age of 87. Who is your favorite character from Bonanza? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.